When We Wear the Gloves by Brother Carver Portlock. When we wear the gloves, a brother has gone from our midst and sailed to golden shores. When we wear the gloves, a friend has passed the final test and walks through purple doors. The circle has an empty place, a voice will raise no more. The song of fellowship and love uplift forevermore. When we wear the gloves. When we wear the gloves, a light goes from this earthly life, the visor closed again. Yet all the heavens open wide to let a new star in. When we wear the gloves, a brother leaves the chapter rolls and moves to other worlds. For when we say our last goodbye, he walks on streets of pearl. When we wear the gloves.
Spirit of the living God, we thank you for this privilege to come again into this, your house. And as we've gathered to memorialize those who have been called from labor to reward, who enjoyed sweet fellowship among us and with us, and now they rest in the bosom of the sweet Omega chapter. Remind us that it is better to have loved and lost than never to have loved at all. And weeping is a nighttime phenomenon, for joy comes in the morning. Don't know when morning is coming, but we know it's on the way. Expedite the night season that we might enjoy the fruitfulness of your joy. Send now a word, not a good one, but God, one that will do us some good. A rhema word that will destroy yokes, break shackles, and snatch down strongholds, that the prisoner might go free. Don't allow anybody to go out of here this afternoon the same way that they came, but go rejoicing in you, the God of our salvation. Thank you, Lord. I knew you would. Send a fresh anointing which makes preaching and praising seem easy. It's in the name of the Christ we pray. Amen. To the angel of this house, the Reverend Dr. Craig Jenkins, thank you, sir, for the privilege to stand behind this sacred desk. Those of us who make up the Brothers of Omega Psi Phi in this Chicago area and abroad to come and share this sacred space. To the able and capable leader of this, the talented 10th District Representative, Steve Watkins, thank you for the privilege to be here. And I'm aware that the protocol has already been established. And I don't know really who to call, but thank you for your presence on this Lord's Day. I owe a special word of gratitude to Keller for your coordination of this memorial service. Thank you. Brother Keller's been trying to step all day. At some point, we're going to have to take the brakes off and let you get down. All day. Started out, needed worship, stepping. You saw him in the choir. Everybody else, kind of, Brother Keller was getting down. Such dexterity. Thank you, Brother Keller, for your allowing me to come. And to you, Brother George, thank you for facilitating travel. I saw Eric McLeod slip in. I don't know how I thought he could slip in. I don't know where you think you can get slipping from. But thank you, McLeod, for your presence. He's from the great state of North Carolina, the city of Raleigh. And thank you for your presence. Now, you all are not aware of this, but I believe in transparency. But I was given the agenda for the day, when I was supposed to be picked up, where I was supposed to go, what time worship was to start. And it also has what time worship is to conclude. And we're 18 minutes away from the conclusion of worship according to the schedule. I don't know what the Holy Spirit's going to say, but I know that people no longer come to church as a destination point, that we stop by en route to someplace else. And therefore, I appreciate your stopping, and I want to help facilitate you getting to where you ultimately want to go. So I will be mindful of the time constraints that each one of you have, because I'm glad that you are here. When I was asked about coming to share this memorial, God immediately started dealing with me. But because of so many other commitments and obligations, I never really get around to a specific occasion until the time is nigh. But as closer the time came, God began to impress indelibly upon me a passage of scripture that is not unfamiliar, but one that I want to call your attention to at this moment. In the gospel according to John, there somewhere around the 11th chapter, an enormous amount of time is spent dealing with a family who resides in the little village of Bethany, about 2 miles outside of Jerusalem. And there in Bethany, there is a family, 2 sisters and 1 brother. You know them.
Yeah.
Mary, Martha, and Lazarus. It was that Mary who is said to have anointed Jesus' feet with perfume. And the occasion arose where their brother Lazarus fell ill. And because of their affinity and affection for Jesus, they sent word to Jesus that the one whom you love is sick. Though Jesus received the message, he took his time in getting there. And so he meandered his way toward Bethany, and finally he said to his disciples, our friend Lazarus is sick. But this sickness is not unto death, but that the Son of God might be glorified. And let's go now again to Judea. The disciples cautioned him, saying, just most recently the Jews have sought to kill you. And Jesus says, I cannot be preoccupied with my own existence, but I have a task that is at hand that I must now attend to. But yet he did not get in any hurry. And finally, he says to his disciples, Lazarus, our friend, is asleep. Let's go that we might awaken him. Not knowing the fullness of what Jesus was saying, he then said to them, because they retorted by saying, if he sleeps, he doeth well. For we know that if you're sick, sleep can help make you well. At least help you restore your strength. So Jesus spoke plainly to him, remember, he's not just asleep. Lazarus is dead.
Come on.
And so let's go see about him.
Yes, sir.
As he meanders his way, 4 days have now passed, and he finally gets close in proximity to the village of Bethany. And Martha and Mary hears of his coming, and Martha ceases all that she was doing and runs out to meet Jesus. And when she sees him, she says, and you will find this recorded somewhere around verse 21, Jesus, had you been here, our brother would not have died.
Come on, preacher.
Our brother would not have died had
yes,
you
sir.
been here.
Had
you been here. You know, Jesus does make the difference. Had you been here. Had you been here.
Yes, sir.
Our brother. Tim Tyler would not have died. Had you been here. Jesus, she says to him, but even now, I believe that God will do whatever he asks him to do. Even now,
yes,
even though he's dead, I believe that God will do whatever you ask him to do. So for the next few minutes, I see the clock and I know I see the clock. So for the next few minutes, I want to talk about but even now. But even now. But even now. You need to understand that things are not always as they seem. And even though the situation might look improbable and pretty near impossible, even now God is still able to do exceeding abundantly above all that we can ask or think. Martha has unusual and peculiar insight.
Yes.
And she understands that Jesus has the capacity to do exceeding abundantly above all that we could ask or think. But not so much because of Jesus' capacity, but who he is as the Son of God.
All right.
You do know that God and Jesus is the same. Right. Jesus is simply the manifestation of the Son that we can have unfettered access to as he moves around among us. And Martha has grown acquainted to Jesus because of his frequent visitations at their house in Bethany. She believes that Jesus is able to speak with the Father, and the Father can do whatever he asks of him. And so Jesus says to her, you will see your brother again. He will rise again. And Martha says, I know I will in the resurrection in the last day. And Jesus says to her, Martha, do you recognize who you're talking to? I want to tell you this first and foremost that, but even now, if you recognize his person,
go ahead.
Recognize his person. See, oftentimes we miss our blessings because we don't recognize who Jesus really is.
Come on, preacher. Come on.
We somehow got caught up in the pluralistic capitalistic dynamic of this society in which we live.
Yeah.
And since we kind of rub shoulders with people of other faith, we have allowed them and their perspective on Jesus to diminish the reality of who he is in our lives. We've been listening to folks talk about he's not really the Savior, he's just another good man, a good prophet, like some of the others, like Muhammad and others. Perhaps he's just like Moses or some of the others. But no. You got to recognize.
Yeah. Come on, preacher.
You better recognize.
Yes,
If
sir.
you don't know, you better ask somebody. This ain't just no any ordinary. Jesus says, Martha,
Yes, sir.
you're talking about he will rise again on the last day in the resurrection. But I want you to know who I am. I am the resurrection.
Yes, sir.
Did you hear me? I am
the
resurrection. I personify. I'm the manifestation of that which you think is going to happen on the last day. We don't have to wait till the last day, but even now, if you recognize who Jesus is,
yes, sir.
Jesus is able to do exceeding abundantly above all that we could ask for or think. If you recognize who he is, you don't have to wonder about what can happen or will happen. You can know that even now, in the midst of us,
yes, sir.
he's still moving in mysterious ways, his wonders to perform. Even now, while we're wondering and shaking our heads and trying to have a pity party, God is still able to resurrect the dead. Not on the last day, but even now. Because when you recognize who he is, then you know that he can do anything but fail. And you don't have to speculate about it. I know that somebody here right now in the hearing of my voice knows that Jesus is able.
Yes, sir.
And I know you know because you would not be here had it not been for the Lord on your side. Sometimes we fail to realize that it wasn't us that did it, it was God who did it for us.
Yeah. It's
not us, but he who is in us.
Yes.
And greater is he who's in us than he that is in the world.
Go ahead.
So even now, he says to Martha, you need to recognize who I am. And when we recognize his person, we know that even now. But more than that, Jesus says to her, but Martha, as you are wondering about your brother, show me where you have laid him. Show me. And they are weeping and wailing in Jerusalem in close proximity to Bethany. People have come out from Jerusalem and they are weeping and even Jesus is provoked in his compassion. And if you don't know any other Bible verse, you know, sometimes when we were little they would ask us to quote a Bible verse.
Yes, sir.
And if you won't deep as the others who were in Sunday school,
yes, sir.
The one verse you ought to know is Jesus wept. So when folks try to challenge you on your biblical perspective, let them know you don't have to be real deep. All you got to know is Jesus wept. And that's a good thing, you know.
Yes, sir.
You don't ever want Jesus to lose his compassion for you.
My God.
You don't ever want Jesus to lose his ability to weep over your situation.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
His capacity to weep that gives us the kind of assurance and the confidence to know that whatever concerns us also concerns him.
Amen.
So when you have a concern, he has a concern.
Yeah.
If you are hurting, he's hurting. It's a wonderful thing to know that whoever you are and wherever you are, if you have a relationship with him, he will weep over your situation. And so Jesus wept. He wept. But he says, show me where you have laid him. And they said, well, it's been 4 days now. And surely there must be a foul odor. And he stinketh. And Jesus, no, I didn't ask you about the aroma. I just want to know, where did you lay him? And they took Jesus out and showed him, and Jesus says, roll the stone away. Now I want you all to get this, because the thing that Jesus demonstrates even now is not only is about the recognition and the recognizing of his person, he's about to get you to realize his power. And see, I have a theory about this. I think that Jesus intentionally delayed his arrival for 4 days. For 4 days. Because Jesus is anticipating what he's ultimately going to have to do. And so with this encounter with death, not his first encounter, because you remember he stopped the funeral procession and gave the woman back her son. So this isn't his first encounter with death, but he's getting himself ready for what he ultimately has to do in dealing with death. And in this realization of his power, he says, in 4 days, now that he's been dead that long, show me where you have laid him. And so he goes, the stone is rolled away, and Jesus, you know, could have rolled the stone away himself, but he was conserving his energy for what he ultimately had to do. And when they rolled the stone away, Jesus did not negotiate with death, but Jesus said to death, loose him and let him go. And you gotta see this. Lazarus came forth,
Yes, sir.
bound with the grave clothes. But let me tell you, they had not experienced this kind of miraculous phenomenon before. They had seen Jesus and him turning water into wine. They had seen him give back blinded eyes. They had seen him, but they had not seen him deal with death in this way. And I believe that we are still a little short on recognizing what Jesus can do.
All right.
He's still able, if you recognize his presence and realize his power, to raise even the dead.
Yeah.
I believe that if we can get to him before we take him to the mortician, Jesus can raise them up from the dead. I believe that Jesus' power is still able to defeat death and the grave. So Jesus says, loose him and let him go. Well, this was just a foretaste of what he ultimately was going to do. Some of us are still observing the Lenten season, and if you're in the midst of it, you know that in a few weeks now, we're going to see the extraordinary power of not Jesus raising the dead, but getting up under his own power. And when he got up under his own power, he had all power in his hands. Therefore, we don't have to worry, we don't have to fret, we don't have to look around, because we know that we know the one who's got the power. And if you have not experienced that power, I will challenge you, my father's children, to open yourself up and experience the power that only Jesus can give. And y'all sitting here looking at me, but somebody knows that Jesus has the power. Everybody has always been where you are now, but God has brought some of you a mighty long way. Has brought some of you through dangers seen and unseen. Anybody have ever been sick in here?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Have a pathetic diagnosis and the prognosis was not promising, and you thought that it was over, and the doctors were calling in your family and they were whispering, saying things in soft tones around your bed, making preparations for you to be funeralized, and you're still here? Well, you do know you're not here because you found some good oncologist that's a cancer doctor. You do know that, don't you? But you're here because he's got the power. And if it had not been for the Lord on your side,
Yes, sir.
then you never would have made it.
Come on.
You didn't make it on your own.
Yes, sir.
You didn't make it because you've been good.
Well.
But you made it because God is great and greatly to be praised.
Yes, sir.
That's the final thing I want to tell you. We got about 3 more minutes now. It's not enough just to recognize his person and realize his power. A lot of folk realize his power, recognize his person, but somehow or another we have become co-opted into this cool contemporary culture that causes us to be on lockdown and in silence. But when you recognize his person and realize his power, then it ought to prompt you to revitalize your praise.
Yeah.
I don't understand folk that God's been good to and never find an occasion to praise God. It doesn't matter to me what you have, what
Yes, sir,
you
preacher.
what title.
Uh-huh.
You'll not ever get so intellectual that you lose your praise.
My God.
They were weeping and waiting around Lazarus' tomb. But when they realized that God had the power to lift him up, can you imagine what Mary and Martha was saying when they saw Lazarus come forth from that grave? Weeping over their brother. 1 minute for 4 days had been weeping. Called for Jesus and he didn't get there on time. But then when Jesus has this conversation with death and Lazarus come forth because he's getting ready to show them what he was really working with. And they saw Lazarus get up out that grave. Can you imagine what that felt like? Well, you don't have to think about what it felt like for Mary and Martha. Let me ask you what it feels like for you. When you look back over your life, I want to thank this singing aggregation, one of the finest I've heard anyway. And you think about what God has done for you.
Yes, sir.
When you begin to turn the pages of your past and see that he's brought you through this and he's brought you through that. When you see how he's made ways out of nowhere, how he's opened doors that no man can close, how he's still making the crooked places straight and the rough places smooth. When you think about had it not been for the Lord on your side, you never would have made it. Anybody ever been without and God showed up in the nick of time? Anybody ever had a few resources and God met all of your needs? I'm talking to you now. God's been good to anybody. I'm talking to you. God bless anybody. Well, I want to ask you a question. Is he worthy? Is he worthy? Is he worthy to be praised? I've made up in my mind that I'm going to bless the Lord at all times. And his praise shall continually be in my mouth. From the rising of the sun to the going down of the sun, I'm going to bless his holy name. Because when I think about the goodness of Jesus, even now, all that he's done for me, brother, can I confess to you? Can I be real with you? Can you imagine coming from an indescript place called Hallsboro, North Carolina, not having 2 dimes to rub together, having to go to the outhouse to relieve yourself? None of y'all know about an outhouse, do you? Had to chop wood just to stoke the fire, get to some fat loud, and strike that thing up, and then God can gush it up, and now you are the grand chaplain of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity, and you tell me I ain't gonna praise the Lord. Is he worthy? Is he worthy? Is he worthy? Somebody ought to say something. Somebody ought to throw your head back, wave your hands in the air. You know how you used to do it when you set it out, don't you? All y'all ain't been in church all your life. Looking cute. You know how you used to do it, don't you? I'm telling you now, have a flashback. Remember the club days when you would wave your hands in the air? They look like you just don't care. When I think about the goodness of Jesus and all that he's done for me, that even now,